Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will primarily introduce the concepts and classification of exceptions. In addition to exceptions that occur unexpectedly during program execution, we can also use the throw keyword to manually throw an exception. The syntax is throw exception object. For example, we can throw an arithmetic exception object. When throwing an exception object, you can specify detailed exception information. Here is another example. When creating an arithmetic exception object, we can pass the message that the divisor cannot be 0 when an thrown exception is called. You can use the getMessage method to retrieve the exception information. After catching and handling the exception in the catch block, you can also rethrow the exception using the throw keyword. This follows the principle of division of labor, where each part of the program handles its own responsibilities and passes on other requirements to higher levels for further processing. For example, in the case of integer division that we discussed earlier, in this code snippet, when the catch block catches an arithmetic exception, it outputs a prompt message and rethrows the exception to be handled by the calling code. You can use the throws keyword to declare a method that throws an exception when a method itself does not know or does not want to handle a potential exception. You can choose to use the throws keyword to pass the exception to the calling method for handling. Simply add the throws clause behind the parameter list and in front of the opening curly brace of the method body to declare that the method throws an exception. Let's make the appropriate modifications to the integer division example by defining it as a method called div and applying the throws keyword to throw an exception. When throwing an exception, you can either directly throw the object E or throw a new arithmetic exception object. You can even throw exceptions of other types. If you declare multiple types of exceptions to be thrown, separate them with commas. It is also allowed to use the exception class to cover all the exceptions to be thrown. However, when calling a method with declared exceptions, it is mandatory to handle the exceptions. Otherwise, the compilation will fail. It is recommended to handle exceptions when calling methods with exception declarations. You can use the try-catch-finally structure or add an exception declaration to the calling method to handle the exceptions. The throw and throws keywords may seem similar, but they have different uses and meanings. In terms of usage, the throws is used in the method declaration at the top, while the throw is used inside the method body. In terms of meanings, the throws indicates the possibility of exceptions, but they may not necessarily occur, while throw is used to actually throw an exception that will occur. In both cases, the handling of the exception is left to the caller. In this class, we mainly covered the meanings and usage of the throw and throws keywords. To further enhance your understanding, I encourage you to apply these keywords in your own code based on the examples we discussed. Thank you. And that concludes this lesson. Write down the execution result of the following code about exceptions.